YouTube, it's Aisha, your girl, Geek XX Chic, and I am here with another Walking Dead reaction video. Today we will be looking at Season 7, Episode 13, which is entitled, Bury Me Here. So last week we had that amazingly wonderful Richonne episode, little bottle episode between Rick and Michonne, just kind of covering their journey, not just to scavenge, but obviously a little bit of a sneak peek into their minds and where they're thinking, where they're at emotionally, and where they're thinking, you know, everything's gonna go at this very crucial point in their lives. And I really enjoyed the episode. I talked a lot about it in the last video, so I won't get into it too much, but it was really well done. And of course, Andy and Denai just knocked it out of the park, as they always do. So that was a nice little break from some of the dark, less happy things we've had to deal with so far. Why don't we just jump into the episode and we'll talk after? Sounds good? All right. Boop.
Is really what you want?
Yeah.
No. You want to be like your brother. Yeah?
Don't all little brothers. Excuse me, boys. I just took care of that mess for you.
You found what you wanted, right? You got away from everyone? Is it what you wanted?
I don't think it was, Morgan.
It just too late to get away?
You already know the answer, Morgan.
Hey, we can leave for Alexandria right now.
Who killed it? I don't like this. Who's there? I knew it. Who is this?
You may approach, Nabi.
I'm fine where I am.
She likes you.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Nabila finally acted like
Tell me
my
what you
first
saw.
my black family.
You're not gonna like
I like waiting to hear bad news less.
Deep.
Okay. I think I just pissed myself.
Oh, Nabila, you could stay. We like you.
Kid's too young to be a father.
Ugh.
You want?
I don't like all this time that they're spending on Ben.
No, I wasn't too young.
So gonna die.
Perfect age.
You know he's gonna die. If not this episode,
So,
soon.
Perfect family and perfect life. I know you're a good man.
Go away, Richard.
The day's coming where you can't be that good. When that happens,
You have no idea what Morgan has got going on, Richard. You don't have the first clue. Not even
Benjamin,
an
It's
iota.
time for us to take our lead. Bro, Jerry. Fine.
Jerry. Oh my god, I just realized Ben and Jerry.
Let's close around the king. I got cover.
Just realized that Jerry's got this massive axe. Why is why is Richard falling behind, guys? No, I don't like this at
Towards the
all.
building.
I knew it. He's totally Richard. This man's getting on my last nerve. I can't do it. Between him and Rosita, I just can't.
The world does drive people crazy now. But you made us another world.
Yeah, Ben's so gone. He's sweet. He's smart. He's got sage advice to give. He's basically a super young Herschel. So gonna die.
I don't want to hear about it.
Don't interrupt the king.
Agreed.
Ezekiel.
You know, Richard looks uneasy. What did you
I want your
do?
guns too.
What?
We did not agree to that.
You should give them over, Your Majesty.
Oh, shut up, Richard.
You should give him over, Your Majesty.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'll just shove this down your throat.
Could you?
There are 12 there.
There aren't.
Count again.
You count them.
Richard. Oh. Please, just pull it. Quickly. No one will miss him. Go for it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! Yeah, Richard, did you actually think that was gonna go the way you thought?
It's A's or F's, no I's. You are.
Oh, now you're scared, huh? Oh no. I hit the artery. Oh, he doesn't look good.
Away from me.
Oh no. Oh, please. Oh god. Organ snapping. Oh no. Now go find Richard and just channel all that rage right into his face. Somebody's about to get a whooping. Somebody's about to get a whooping.
We understand.
What is... Oh my...
Leave it be.
Knew that was coming. Do it, Morgan. Do it. The nerve of him. Damn, Morgan. Even Jerry's shook.
Thought he could choose, and that's why Dwayne had to die.
Who?
Dwayne.
Oh. No.
You can go. And not go.
Oh, Ezekiel's words coming back. I'm liking this. I'm liking this Carol Morgan thing. Corgan. Is Carol headed back to Alexandria? Time to get on board with Team Rick. Nope.
I'm gonna be here now. We have to get ready. We have to fight.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
That's right.
Not today.
Ah. So Morgan's gonna stay at Carol's. I can dig it. Oh, is she sharpening his stick? Ooh, things are about to get real. Okay, guys. Well, that was season 7, episode 13, Bury Me Here, Walking Dead. This was another pretty good episode, I have to say. I am a huge Lenny James fan, so whenever I get a chance to see him shine in this role or in anything, it's such a treat, and I think he did brilliantly in really carrying the majority of this episode. This is definitely more of a Morgan episode than anything else. I guess, where to start? I guess this whole thing with Richard. I mean, I think we all knew that this was going to come to a head at some point. Richard, from the second I heard him suggest that they use Carol as bait to start this whole thing between the Saviors and the Kingdom, I knew that Richard was trouble and that he could not it couldn't stay. Like there's no way he could continue to live amongst these people, because he was to the point where lives were becoming expendable. And anytime someone thinks that lives are not worth, or one life is expendable for some cause, you get into that extremist territory, and that's where Richard was heading with a quickness. This is great. Like, I really like that they're showing a little bit more of Morgan's journey, because I know that Morgan's been getting a lot of hate from fans pretty much since season 6. They're not really liking his pacifist belief system. They don't like the fact that he doesn't want to fight. They don't like the fact that he's let certain things happen because he refused to kill. But so many people seem to forget that Morgan's journey is something that he needs to go through. And we saw Rick go through this already, and I think the fact that we saw it happen 4 years ago is why we're a little impatient with Morgan right now as he goes through it. When Rick lost Lori, he went crazy for a little while. Do you remember that? Like, he was out wandering in the bushes. Rick was crazy. He really did lose it. And I mean, the show they didn't go into it as in depth as they did in the comics, but in the comics, Rick had a really significant spell of not really being all that mentally sound after Lori died. But the difference between Morgan and Rick in those situations is that when Rick lost someone who was so important to him and he kind of lost his mind temporarily, he had his group. He still had his children that he had to look out for. He also had Herschel and Glenn and all these really good, sound-minded, grounded people to help pull him back from the edge when he got too far. And that's kind of what kept him from going completely over to the side of insanity. Morgan, when he lost his son Dwayne, like, from what we saw in season 1 of him, which was very brief, Morgan hadn't really ventured out too much after the whole outbreak happened. He just kind of kept his son close to him when he lost his wife, and outside of going out to scavenge and getting what they needed, he didn't he didn't make new connections with people. Rick was the only person he talked to in months when he showed up in his doorstep. So it isn't like Morgan had a network of people. And so when Dwayne died, for Morgan, it was very much like losing his last tether to the old world, as well as his last tether to any sort of family or connection with other humans. And he didn't have anybody. There was no one around. He had no one to help him deal with all that grief and the reality of the world that he lived in that all probably hit him at once. So he had what I would consider to be a psychotic break. He lost it. And when we saw that episode of Clear, you saw that he was completely gone. He was no longer Morgan. He was just this feral animal that was just surviving and murdering and just completely devoid of humanity. So even though Eastman helped him and gave him some foundation to start again on, it's kind of like, I look at it almost like someone who's trying to get over an addiction of anything. Like, for Morgan, not killing was his way of dealing with all that pain and the psychosis he was kind of going through during that time. That was the way he quelled it, and that's the way he was able to get through the day and also deal with, he's got to have a massive guilt. Now that he's back in his right mind as well, he probably has massive guilt about all the innocent people that he killed during that time. So if him going to that extreme of not killing at all is what it takes for him to heal some of that emotional and mental scarring, then that's what he needs to do. And yes, we all know it's not feasible in this world anymore to be completely passive, but if that's what Morgan needs right now to heal, then I'm okay with that. But I don't think a lot of fans take enough time to really think about where Morgan is, or the fact that he's not 100% healed. And this episode showed, and I'm glad that they showed that with those flashes that he got after Benjamin died, that he's not 100% over everything that happened. There is still that very broken part of Morgan that's still in there, and he's barely keeping it under control at the best of times. So it's just, there's a lot going on with Morgan. He's a very layered guy, and like I said, Lenny James is so amazing. He did such a good job of conveying the crazy amount of emotions that Morgan was going through in this episode, from the guilt to the anger to the straight up rage. But in the end, I feel like Morgan did the right thing. Richard had to go. Bottom line, if the kingdom had a jail like Alexandria does, he probably would have locked Richard up in there, but they didn't have that option. And I think after that conversation with Richard, the way Richard really didn't show a whole lot of remorse over the death of Ben, Richard made it clear that no matter what, he was gonna keep doing things to keep this going, and more innocent people, more collateral damage was going to happen, and Morgan wasn't gonna let that happen. I was not expecting Morgan to strangle him with his bare hands. Like, that is, do you know the level of rage it takes to kill someone like that? Like, that is such a crazy personal type of kill, and the strength that it takes. Like, Morgan was, you know, that was about more than just Ben. Like, that was like months of rage coming through, and yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but I'm glad that the whole group kind of sees now, like, you know, Morgan is not to be screwed with. Morgan is not don't think he's weak because he's passive. Looking at Carol, clearly ever since Daryl's visit, she's not been okay. She knew, I think we all knew that she knew that Daryl wasn't being 100 with her, but I guess she's ready to know the truth now. She was ready to stop kind of putting her head under the, you know, under the covers, as it were, and pretending nothing was happening. Carol's now back. She's back in fighting mode, you know. She took her little break, and she realized, and I love that they had that question with Morgan saying, did you get what you wanted? Like, you had your isolation, you had all the things you asked for. Are you finding what you want? Like, is this what you needed? And clearly, we see that, you know, Carol's no happier than she was when she first showed up there. She's still not sleeping well. She's smoking still, which is something we've only really ever seen her do when she's really upset or stressed. So she thought this exile would help her, but it's obviously not, because Carol is a caregiver by nature, and for her to be by herself and being selfish like this is against everything that Carol is. So she needs to do what she does best, which is take care of people, and in the case of the kingdom, it's going to be in helping them prepare for the inevitable, you know, war that's coming. And for Morgan, we see now he's living at Carol's place, which I like that they're, you know, it shows that parallel in their stories again, to have them switching places right now. That right now Morgan's the one who needs to figure out where his place is going to be going forward and how he wants to proceed, and now Carol is okay with who she is and where she wants to proceed, so she can go back and be with the community. So I really liked how they did that little switch up at the end there. And Morgan sharpening he's sharpening his stick, guys. That is super symbolic. That is super symbolic for what's gonna come at. Like, Morgan is gonna be, I think he's gonna be a one-man Terminator coming up here. It's gonna be pretty awesome to see, like, him and Rick and like Michonne and Carol just be like this crazy 4 horsemen of the apocalypse for Negan and the Saviors. I cannot wait. What did you guys think of this episode? Are you thinking this was a great one too? Do you really like watching Morgan's development? How do you feel about Morgan? Do you think he's still a little too passive? Do you think crazy Morgan is better than passive Morgan? Do you think he's finally gonna find his, you know, the path that's nicely in the middle? Tell me what you guys think. I love reading them in the comments. Thanks so much for watching with me, guys. If you like this video, go ahead and click like, and if you want to see more from this geeky face, go ahead and click subscribe. Until next time, guys, have a great one. See ya.